everyone. Today, Iris and I are once again reading from the Family Story Bible. This was written by Ralph Milton, illustrated by Margaret Kyle, and published by Westminster John Knox Press and Woodlake Books. Today, we're reading from John 21, 1 through 17. Peter learns. Peter was tired. He had been fishing all night long. "We haven't caught a thing," said Peter. "We might as well row back to the shore." It was several weeks after Jesus had been killed. The disciples got together often to talk about Jesus and to remember the things he had said and done. "I wonder what Jesus wants us to do now," Peter often asked the other disciples. "He lived with us here. He taught us many things about God and about each other. Then Jesus was killed, but we know he's alive again. So what? What do we do now?" On this night, the disciples had gone fishing together, but there didn't seem to be any fish. Peter heard a voice calling from the shore. It was still quite dark. Peter couldn't see who it was. "My friends," called the voice, "have you caught any fish?" "None at all," Peter called back. "Put your net on the other side of the boat," the voice called. "You'll find some fish there." That's what they did. In no time at all, the net was so full of fish, they thought it would break. "I know who that is," said one of the disciples. "That's Jesus. Who else knows where the fish are?" Peter got very excited. He jumped into the water and swam to shore. The other disciples rowed the boat up to the beach. It was hard because they had so many fish. "There were 153 fish in that net," said Thomas. "Bring the fish here," said Jesus. "We'll cook them for breakfast." Jesus had built a nice little fire on shore. "These taste really good," said Peter. Jesus laughed. He looked at Peter with his mouth so full of fish. Then suddenly, Jesus looked a little sad. "Peter," Jesus said, "do you love me?" "Sure," said Peter. "You know that." "Then feed my lambs," said Jesus. Jesus didn't say anything for a while. Peter kept on eating fish, but he wondered what Jesus meant. "Peter," said Jesus, "do you really love me?" "Of course, Jesus," said Peter. "You know I love you." "Take care of my sheep," said Jesus. Jesus was quiet again. Peter had stopped eating. He was thinking hard about what Jesus had said. After a while, Jesus spoke again. He spoke so quietly, Peter could hardly hear. "Peter, do you love me?" Peter began to feel a little hurt. Why did Jesus keep asking him the same question? "You know everything, Jesus," he said. "You know that I love you." "Feed my sheep." That was the last time that Peter and the other disciples saw Jesus, but they knew he was alive. Jesus was alive in their hearts. The disciples felt Jesus was somehow with them whenever they talked about him. When they prayed, they knew Jesus was listening to their prayers. And many, many times, Peter thought about that last time with Jesus, and he could hear Jesus saying to him, "Feed my sheep." And Peter knew what to do. Peter knew Jesus wanted him to feed God's sheep, to help people live in God's way. Now we'll end with a little prayer. Jesus, please help me to be always willing and able to help people. Amen.